Alrighty now. Where are we at? Hello, and welcome to another session of Thrashing Code. Today, I'm going to be working on, well, specifically Terraform stuff, working toward getting the Cassandra Cluster, DataStax Enterprise Cassandra Cluster up and running in GCP. I left off in the last session somewhere around this environment. Yeah, so it had some stuff built, or I had some stuff built for it, whatever you want to call it. I have the Bastion. These three instances here are the Kubernetes cluster, and then here's the Kubernetes cluster. Marquelis Wallace. That's the default from the Terraform website. And then I have these two networks, the network primary and network production primary and development network primary. So one in US West 1 and one in East 1, and same for each environment. It makes it a little easier to move things between those whenever I need to. And then, of course, I believe we talked about the storage. Also, the storage is simply holding the Terraform state right now. So there's the state files. Let's see here. Got 1,000,001 things going on. So I also found some music that I can listen to that isn't under some crazy license situation that I can play in the background. Because the previous stuff I was using, well, you know, it's copyright and all that kind of jazz. So they were always tossing it out. But now I got tunes. So y'all got to listen to tunes with me. Anyway, that's the state of the universe at the moment. I just tore through that in like 10 seconds, which is the way I do things sometimes. And blah, blah, blah. So let's talk about objectives for this session. I have Bastion Frank right there. And I think we should pull up the project where the other Terraform files are. Let's see here, terraformed-fields. Oh yeah, and this was out in GitHub land. Just to recap real quick. There it is. Yeah, terraformed-fields. So if you want to go clone this, it's at github.com/adrian/terraformed-fields. So everything will end up in there eventually. Very minimal prereqs at this point. All right, so next thing's next. Let's see. Let's get a Terraform plan just to get a state of the world. All right, that looks good. 2 to add, 2 to destroy. I bet it's, let's see here, forces new for West 1. So that looks like one of the things that would be destroyed is the cluster. And then this is, it's going to destroy the instance. That's fine for now. Let's see here. All right. I want to open this up. I'm going to open it up in code. There we go. And main has all this stuff in there. One of the first things I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove this cluster. That's all fine and dandy that it worked. We got that going, but I'm not going to be using a Kubernetes cluster right now for this. I just want to get instances going with the cluster. So with that, take a look at Terraform plan again. Yep, let's go ahead and apply that and get rid of the cluster. So those 3 instances should go away, and then I'll work from the vantage point of Bastion Frank. Let's see, what's it fussing about? It says it says to do something with this instance. It's recreating it because of something. That requires recreation. That's not a good situation. I don't want to recreate the instance every time. Unless, I guess, if we create a IP for it, static IP, we can kind of set that up. So let's see here. Terraform, GCP, static IP. Okay. I'm going to set up 3 IPs. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to assign those to the instances. And then that way I'll know the IPs. So whenever I join the nodes into the cluster, that'll help. So I'll go ahead and create those. Oops. Static IPs. I'm going to call this, let's just go through node 1, node 1. We'll create 3 just to start with. And let's see here. Then I'm going to want to assign that. Let's see here. Terraform, assign, compute address to instance. There we go. Access config. Where is access? Yeah. So this lets me, lets me configure the IP. Maybe I can autocomplete my way to success here. So in the network interface, do an access config. Without setting it, it just uses an ephemeral one. And I want a IP setter range. I don't think that's going to work. Give it a try though. And then it's Google address dot 1 dot P, maybe. Oh, I need to map that though. No, we'll just do 1 for now. Yeah, that should work. Let's see here. Terraform. Oh, yes. Go ahead and work through there. And as soon as that's done, I'll run and apply again, and we'll see where we're at. I'm just going to wait for this to finish up here. All right, there we go. So since I made some change, resource repeated multiple times. Oh yeah. Let's just go with one to start with. I'll look back at that and unmess it up. Terraform plan. Okay, unknown IP. All right, so what's access config, optional IPs. Access via the internet. This block can be repeated multiple times. Sure can, I know that. Alias IP range. Ah, NAT IP. That's probably what it needs to be. And let's see here for a compute address. Compute address. What does this say? How to guys? Reserving a static external IP address. Internal IP address. Oh, that's a good question. Which one am I going to get? So labels, region, project, address type. Address. So let's see what happens when I just assign the address. Because it looks like, yeah, I might have to set which one it belongs to. And I'll probably need to set the subnetwork too. So let's do that sub network. We'll go with, oh, whatever this one is, because we want that assigned to that instance within that subnetwork. Oh, I keep doing that. I could use this, use the terminal in here. Let's do that. Boom. Go full size. Also get my face out of there. Boom, list. Terraform plan. And I have to spell it right. There we go. Okay, node 1 does not have traffic IP, that's right. Because it said, what did it say it was? Oh, address. What is the terminal? Control backtick. Okay. There we go. Now, why does this... Damn it. Stop recreating everything. The ID is not computed. Oh, I guess I could, maybe I can do this. Let's call it Bastion for our first server. See where that gets us. Okay, so I can't assign the ID, but I need, all right, whatever. Come back to that. Okay, so 2 to add. Let's actually call this node 1, like that. A little easier to type. And here, we don't really know what, the IP, it says network IP, but it's computed. Then net IP. Looks like that will be good. All right. Oh, reference and variable. Da, da, da. Oh, yeah. Need to fix my variable here since I changed that. Let's try that again. That looks good. I'm going to apply that and we'll see what we get. All right. Oh, joy. So it looks like it says invalid value for field subnetwork. For which resource? Oh, for node 1. So let's take that out. Let's see if we can just go with node 1. Right. Wow. Okay. That's much better. Okay. Let's see what it will recreate if I try to do a to create that stuff again. Because I don't want it to recreate the instance every time. So if I assign the subnet, it does that. Let's do this, see where we end up. But then if I apply it, let's see where it sticks our instance. I guess it doesn't mind. It's just going to stick it wherever. So let's go take a look at this instance. All right, cool. So we have Bastion now, and if we take a gander at that, what's the IP we got? We got an internal IP 10.1.0.2. And if I go back to network here, let's take a look at the IPs. All right, so it's declared as a static external address of this crazy thing. So that's network tier premium. Labels change. IPv4 static, and that 35.230 blah blah blah. So yeah, that external IP is connected, but the internal IP is not. So let's see what happens now. Let's work on creating a static IP that's internal. and see what we get. Oops. No. Internal with subnet address. There we go. We'll take that to start with. Region US Central 1. So we got the internal there. Subnetwork. Oh, is that how that works? That makes more sense. Oops. Dev. Let's go with the subnetwork of West 1. What was that? What's your self-link reference? All right. Address type internal. And I actually want to just let's use this the IP that it was assigned. So 10.1.0.2. 1, 2. Right. Yeah, 10. Whoops. 1.0.2. All right. And this region, why do you have to, I don't think you have to specify region. Let's see where we get with that. Okay. So go ahead and assign that IP. All right. So that gave us that. How do we... So if that's the NAT IP... Meh. So I could set that up, but let's hear. Some network tier. Yeah, right. So now how do I assign this? So Google Compute, assign internal IP address, Terraform. Look back at that. Okay, address. Address. Let's bump it to 3. That way we'll know if we really got it or not. Whoops. Yeah, domain-driven design is not in the address. Unknown. Oh, damn it. Oh. Maybe this goes here, it looks like. Not part of address config. That'd be kind of weird. No, of course not. This is address. Optional access configuration IPs via which the instance can be accessed via the internet. Omit to ensure the instance is not accessible from the internet. Actually, yeah, I don't want this at all. I'm keeping that around for a second. Boom. Oh, I put that in the wrong thing. So address is probably a piece of the network interface. So let's try that. Ah, progress. All right, there we go. Some progress, but error. Creating network interfaces. Exactly one of network or subnetwork must be provided. Oh. Oh dear. So, actually, let's copy that. So network interface. So then the subnetwork. Okay, just on the, here we go. That's groovy. I like it that way. Little groovy. There we go. Compute subnetwork dot. Self-link, I believe that's what we need. Okay. So Don't want to do list. I want to do Terraform plan. Where are we at with this? All right, that looks nice and clean. And we should have the things we want. So let's go take a look. There we go. So Bastion Frank. And it has 10102. Is that... That isn't what I said, is it? Oh, I did put that, 10102. I thought I had changed it to 10103. Right, 10 gigabytes. Is that all I get for that thing? I guess so. All right, so let's do another one. And we'll call it node 2. We don't need this external one. Well, actually we'll need one eventually for, let's call it the balancer. There we go. Okay, this will be 3 internal, and that subnetwork. That looks good. And let's just copy this sucker. All right, let's change up some things. So this is going to be, let's call it Frank. Everything needs to stay the same. This one will be Sally. And node 2. Oh. There we go. Now we got node Sally and node Frank. All right. Let's get that happening. I'm going to follow some bad practice real quick, and then we'll talk about it at a later time, but I'm going to create another one called node2.terraform, and then node3, .terraform, and what the heck, let's go with node4, node5.tf. And then take one. Oh, whoops, I didn't add the first one. Node1.tf. And node 2 address. And let's bump these up a little bit. I'm going to do 5 through whatever. So like this one will be 5 or 6 because it's the second one. And node 1 will be 5. Seven. 8. And then 9. We'll call it node 5. And yes, this all seems very redundant, right? I'm going to make a point about that soon. We're going to break these things out into modules. But right now, I'm just putting them in here like this. Three. Already, yep. That one goofed because I duplicated it. Didn't fix the IP address first. So then I got that, and then let's take the server instances out of here. I'm gonna go with Frank being instance 1. Since Frank has the address assigned, let's knock out that useless comment, and then we'll take node Sally. We're going to take that out of main. So we've got our files cleaned up just a little bit. And this is breaking it out by file, which helps a little bit, but if you notice, there's still some obvious redundancy all over the place, which is kind of a pain. We'll break this out into modules later, like I was saying, but for right now, I'm just going to create each one of these and give them all this crazy uniqueness. So node 2, and then node 3. Let's call this one node, let's see, Frank, Sally, go with Susan. This will be node 3. Did I call this node 3? Yep. Okay, that looks good. Let's just see where we're at here with these. Have I gotten everything right so far? Yep, looks good. So then Terraform format. There we go. Let's do it one more time, just for good measure. Then I'm going to repeat that stuff. All right, node 5, Sally, Pete, Bocephus. Yeah. All right. So we're going to build Bocephus, Frank, Sally, Pete, Susan. It's going pretty quick. Ah, there we go. That's interesting. So Sally is like in a weird state. This instance is stopped for whatever reason. I'll come back to that in a minute. Is that angle not good enough? You know, the industry calls this coding, or infrastructure as code. It's really configuration. I tell you that the bad word usage and naming stuff in this industry is like a plague. And the appropriation of stuff. Architect. Why are software developers architects? Why didn't we come up with a new word? We should have come up with something like suckatecture or something. Whatever. Hey, we're still, looks like we're stuck on those ones. Oh, it's already being in use by another resource. So where is 08? 08, let's go back over here. There we go. 9. So what I should have had, Terraform apply. This just doesn't look updated at all. Come on, GCP. Come on, Terraform. Yeah, A, B, C, D, R. Yeah, we're not good at naming stuff in the computer industry. I mean, not that like the car industry does all that great either. Where they name cars stuff like crash and burn in other languages when they try to be fancy. Oh, there we go. So we got 4 nodes. What the hell happened to the other node? Oh, I have to... Oh, it's just because of the GCP. So the GCP updated autonomously of the actual stuff being executed. So now it's getting that last one added where I goofed up the IP. And, yeah. How do you even say, how do you spell Bocephus for real? What do you mean, what does it mean? It means the devil. Or is that Beelzebub? Well, this... this site is stupid. Oh, there's a movie too? Who's Ryan Johnston here? Well, it has a... It's somebody not doing anything. That's what it is. Oh, wow. They've been around Twitter forever. Come on, Bocephus. Log in. Interesting. So it knocked Bocephus down, which... Oh, that's because I changed the IP number. So that's a destructive state. Right. Terraform. So 9, 8, 7. And then this one should be 6. This one should be 5. Oh yeah, let's set up a... I don't know if I need a Bastion server or not, but let's set one up. We're just going to call it Bastion. We're going to give it the 1 IP. Bastion internal. Bastion. Actually, let's just call it Bastion. Went on to be super original here, right? Maybe I should just call it server A. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if we can use a single character for the name. Yeah, there we go. Yes. That'd be, yeah, run Terraform through an obfuscator. That would just decimate it. So Google instance, did I not? So this is the Bastion on 1. Oh. Oh. Let's just go with 4. Whatever. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Meh. Something, right? That's not super helpful. Got an IP already used by another resource. So let's go actually look at the resource. Who is using the damned resource? Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. Google. Compute instance. .a. Oh, .a. Oh, I didn't change the damn thing here. Bastion. Let me change this to Bastion internal. There we go. All right. Cool. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nodes and the Bastion node, right? So where is my A server? There's my A server. So now I got enough stuff running all over the place. All right, now let's talk about one of the other cool things you can do with Terraform. So one of the things, let's hear, totally spacing on the word, but let's hear like Terraform GCP provider. It's not what it's called. Terraform execute post script. Yeah, remote exec. Yeah, this is the stuff. Provisioners, not providers, provisioners is what I was looking for. So basically what these do is you have various things that can execute from a server after the server has launched, right? So like in the case of the Bastion server, my Bastion server can go out and, for instance, download stuff that we need. So what I want to do is set up, so here like this AWS instance web has a local exec where it runs this command. So I'm going to go over here, go to my Bastion server here, and we're going to set up a command to run, right? And we'll just do, let's see, what do we want to do? We want to do sudo, or no, we want to do, I want to download a file. But what is on, the question is like, what's on the default Ubuntu image? I should be able to use wget, right? And with wget, let's see here. Yeah, wget the right, man page wget, yeah. Option wget. And I just want to download some stuff. So I'm going to want to download the DataStax Enterprise. Actually, we'll get just the Cassandra, the Apache Cassandra download. So let's do that. Apache Cassandra download page. All right. Oh, so we could do apt-get per server, actually. So let's do that. Let's do that installation. But over here, let's actually create a shell script for it, right? Call it scripts. Actually, I'll just put it in default install C. There we go. And we'll change the local exec. I think there's one local exec, null resource, remote exec, file. Oh yeah, we'll need to copy the file because I'm going to write a script. Yeah, so that's important to note. I'm going to create a script file which will execute on the servers, which will pull down the software and install Cassandra on the servers. So the way this works with the provisioners is you use a file provisioner, which will pull the file, which is in this repo. So it'll pull it from the repo where it's executing, and it'll put it in the server. I don't even remember what it uses, but I believe it uses some type of SSH to put the file up there. Once it puts it up there, then you can use the, I believe just the local exec to execute against the server. So we'll probably also have to set up, in addition to those things, we'll have to set up a connection like this. So yeah, so you do connection, and then you have source, blah, blah, blah. And in your file, it just shows you the individual ones as if you're like already connected or whatever. All right, so let's get that figured out. SSH root. Destination source. So that's for Windows. We're not using that. We're going to use straight SSH stuff. So where's your 31 years of climate change data now? Because like, I could use that. I would enjoy that very much. I need to get some data. I need to get some flight data too. All right, let's snag this. And we'll put that in. Let's see. Actually, does it go? Oh, there we go. So SSH connection also supports the following fields to facilitate connections via a Bastion host. Oh, interesting. I might have to play around with that later and just see how it works. Right now, I'm going to attempt to do it this way. So let's see here. What are you doing there? Terraform format. I didn't get the file. I guess that's considered formatted, even though it looks freaking weird. Let's see what that says. Ha! No? Whatever. Okay, root user, and then that. See, the other reason I'm a little curious about how this works is if you go in here and you say, let's say I want to connect to this one. You have to use another SSH client. So yeah, see, there's this whole process you need to go through to actually connect with the SSH key, right? So you pass your username, and then you just use your key here. We'll go back to that in a minute. For now, let's see if we can just plan this out, see what it'll do. Yeah, if you want to send me a link to that, I'd love to play with it if you actually are allowed to give that to me. Yes, no? You gonna work there? Oh yeah, so I guess you don't really want the file to run, but I'll probably have to destroy the particular instance and then recreate it again. So we'll have to do a destroy and then recreate it so that it actually runs the script on the node. Awesome. Thanks for that, man. Source is, what did I just call it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Install.c-sh. And then we'll just say, leave it right there. Just call it install-c-sh. Oh yeah, so I'll need So this is what I'll need to do. I'll need to do like the private key or some crap like that to make this work. Huh. I guess if I do an internal IP, it makes it so that I can't do this. All right, you can access an instance by presenting your private SSH key file through a third-party tool. SSH command to connect. However, if you're on Windows workstation, blah, yeah, whatever. We're not doing any Windows crap. So we'll come back to that. Oh, there's a script path. Did I just see that? Yeah. Huh. That's an interesting feature. Oh yeah, so I can use the interpolation thing here. Yeah, okay. Get this figured out in just a second. Find the IP address of the instance you want to. Go to the instances of your page, blah, blah, blah. And a terminal uses SSH. And your private SSH key file to connect to your instance. Specify your username and the external IP address of the instance that you want to connect to. Oh. Yeah, duh. No shit, right? Ah. I didn't want you to run it. Anyway, sh-i. Where have I put that? Yeah. Huh. Okay. Infosec / p key dot or p dot key. Let's do that. And then we'll do at whatever the IP is. So describe how to make a path. Oh yeah. Okay, I guess I could just do that. So the thing about this is, though, like gcloud, yeah, I do have it installed. So whenever you do gcloud init and then you connect to an instance or whatever, it actually sets you up so that you have an IP, not IP, you have a SSH key pertinent to the gcloud AP, CLI. So I'm going to actually look at what I have in there. So yeah, see, I got Google Compute Engine ones. So that's probably what I need to actually use, not my key. There we go. So the key. Path to private key would be this. SH, and then Google Compute Engine. I bet I'm going to need that. And then root, I guess. Root at whatever the external IP is. So if we go to this page and then we go look here, there is no external IP. Oh crap, I need to do That's why that thing won't work. So this, and then let's go back to GCP provider Terraform. Nice, thanks for that data. I'll take a look at it. All right, there we go. And then we want to get a thing. Yeah, I got all that set up. So then compute address. Oh, I don't want to do data. Private IP Google compute address. There we go. This is the one. Oh, damn it. That's not what I wanted either. Oh. There we go. That's what I wanted. Address. So I wonder if I can actually create it with the, well, I ought to be able to create, so I want to be able to have a public and private IP address, right? So this comes in interesting because then what I want to do is, actually let's just fix this. We'll go to the Bastion and remove the address. That's what I'm going to do because it doesn't really need that. And that one I should be able to connect to then. Perfect. Let's do that. I love how quick GCP is on a lot of this, on a lot of these changes. So then if I refresh this, I should have the instance with the internal and external IP. Nope, I guess not. It just doesn't care about anything. Okay, so I do need to create an IP then for that one. No, come back here. There we go. Let's go with that. And this is going to go in the Bastion. Oh, that makes sense because then I can reference the Bastion by IP dynamically in the Terraform with this. So we'll call it Bastion A, Bastion A. Oh, and then what is it? It's network interface. Address. Oh no, it's well, forgot that already too. It's Google compute instance. That's what I want. There we go. Like access config. Connection, network interface, access config. And then in here is NAT IP. Which is then going to be Google compute address, Bastion A, FUI. Is it address? Something else. Nope. It is. Oh, this will have it. Just. Oh yeah. So this should be address, I think, if I recall correctly. There we go. Man, this is some crazy Nintendo rock. It's like Nintendo sounds and a guitar. I don't know, I might not be able to listen to that too much longer. Oh, it's over. Cool. Some sludgy stuff now. All right, cool. All right, what do we have? What do we have, Google? There we go. An external IP. So that makes sense. That's why I was a little confused earlier when I didn't see the SSH connection button. Because you can go in here and you can just do this crazy stuff like open in browser window. And it opens up an SSH thing. So the cool thing about this is now, since I want to debug what I'm going to run in the script, I can just go ahead and run it here, and then I don't have to go through weird trial and error a million times. So let's actually do that. To OS login. Oh yeah, whatever. No. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Let's go see about, so see, this is important stuff. This is the kind of thing you need to take care of when you're setting up Terraform stuff. So I'm going to go in here. Let's look at this. There we go. Firewall rules. And I'll bet, what do I have? Targets applies to all, but does that, yeah, default network. So let's create a network rule. Terraform, GCP, firewall, rules. There we go, yeah. So Bastion. I'm just going to leave the firewall rule in here for now because it's basically for this server. Source tag SSH. Let's go with ports 22. And not that stuff, please. Protocol. I don't. Oh, that's for pinging and stuff. Compute network, not default. Actually, I should put this in the main file near the network stuff so I don't forget where it's at later. Because when I clean this stuff up and go through some nice refactoring of all this jazz, you'll see how this stuff works out. Development network primary. That is what I want. There we go. Give me Bastion access. Bastion SSH. Just call it SSH. There we go. All right, that kind of sort of makes sense. See where we're at with that. Oh, I broke something. So the goo. Oh. That's the name of it, not that other thing. That's what I copied, didn't I? Oh, that is what I have. So config unknown resource. That thing. Reference and variable. Google Compute Network. Reference and variable. Blah blah blah. Oh, dev network. There we go. How you feel about that? Oh, I still didn't fix the other thing. Compute default referenced in. What? Get the whole project then. Default. Oh, default. Is that still here? Oh, gotta save it. I see what you did there, Visual Studio. So I just didn't save the file, so the file had the old one, which had the conflict. So boom. Anyway, let's get that in there. ASAP. Come on, trying to get something done here. There we go. All right. Let's see if we can do this now. Via the magic of Google Cloud's come on stuff. Okay, there's the, I just noticed it as it flickered away. That the firewall should have this stuff open now. So let's try the magic browser thing again. And also let's, yeah, use another thing. Oh, does it not? Oh yeah, that's what I want. vcloud command. Let's do that. Ping 35, 230. Doesn't look reachable that way. Okay, so this firewall rule does apply to that. TCP port 22, ICMP, ingress. I didn't really want to edit it, but off. Actually, let's do that. Or no, I don't really want to do that. Okay, that seems right. All right, I'm just gonna do a crazy one real quick. Testing. Ingress. Whatever, the whole universe. -0. Yeah, let's do everything. All right, gonna try this again with all the bloody ports open. Oh, interesting. OS login. That's new since the last time I did this. All right, so my connection is flaky. I'm not really sure what to do about it right now. I'm going to fight with this some more. And tune in next time for a resolution and next steps on this. So until then, this is Adrian, and I am just out of here.